April 14th, 1865. The Civil War had ended. After 4 years of bloodshed, America was finally breathing a sigh of relief. In Washington, crowds filled the streets, celebrating the dawn of peace. President Abraham Lincoln, exhausted but hopeful, decided to spend the evening at Ford's Theater. He believed the nation was entering a new era of unity. But as the laughter of the play filled the theater, history took a darker turn. A single gunshot rang out, piercing the joy of the moment. Lincoln slumped forward in his chair, mortally wounded. Panic erupted inside the theater. People screamed. Actors froze on stage. The audience couldn't yet comprehend what had just happened. The assassin was John Wilkes Booth, just 26 years old, a famous actor from a family of performers. But behind the glamour, Booth harbored a deep hatred for Lincoln and the Union cause. He believed the Confederacy's defeat was not the end, but an opportunity to strike one final blow. With a small pistol hidden in his coat, Booth changed the course of American history. After firing the fatal shot, Booth leapt from the balcony to the stage below. In his dramatic escape, he broke his leg. Still, he stood tall before the stunned audience and shouted, "Sic semper tyrannis." Thus, always to tyrants. He hobbled off the stage and into the night, leaving behind chaos and a dying president. Across the street, doctors fought to save Lincoln's life, but the wound was fatal. By morning, the nation's leader was dead, and John Wilkes Booth had vanished. Within hours, Secretary of War Edwin Stanton declared an all-out manhunt. It became the largest in American history. More than 10,000 soldiers, detectives, and volunteers spread across Maryland and Virginia. Telegraph lines buzzed with alerts. Trains carried troops to suspected hideouts. A $100,000 reward was placed on Booth's head, an enormous sum for the time. Booth was not alone. His accomplice, David Harold, guided him through the darkness. Despite his broken leg, Booth pushed forward, relying on sympathetic locals to provide food and shelter. They hid in pine thickets, barns, and swamps, always just hours ahead of their pursuers. But Booth's arrogance slowed him down. He sought medical treatment, leaving witnesses who would later testify to his presence. Union forces closed in, their search tightening with each passing day. Still, rumors spread wildly. Some claimed Booth was already in Canada. Others believed he had slipped into Mexico. Fear and uncertainty gripped the public. Could the killer of the president truly escape justice? In his diary, Booth revealed his state of mind. He saw himself as a hero, not a criminal. He insisted Lincoln was a tyrant who deserved death. But as the days dragged on, Booth's words grew more desperate. His body was failing, his allies abandoning him. His cause, he realized, was collapsing. Finally, on April 26th, 12 days after the assassination, Union soldiers cornered Booth and Harold in a tobacco barn at Richard Garrett's farm in Virginia. The troops surrounded the barn and demanded surrender. Harold stepped out, hands raised. Booth refused. For hours they shouted back and forth. Booth insisted he would never be taken alive. He wanted to die a martyr. Finally, the soldiers set the barn on fire. Flames roared into the night, smoke filling the air. Trapped inside, Booth raised his gun one final time. A single shot rang out, not from Booth, but from Sergeant Boston Corbett. The bullet struck Booth in the neck. He collapsed to the ground, paralyzed and fading fast. As soldiers dragged him from the burning barn, Booth whispered his final words, "Tell my mother I died for my country." Moments later, the assassin of Abraham Lincoln was dead. The manhunt was over, but the scars it left behind would never heal. Lincoln's assassination shocked a nation struggling to rebuild. Booth believed he could alter the future with a single bullet. Instead, he cemented his place as one of history's most hated fugitives. The story of John Wilkes Booth is more than just a chase. It is a warning, a reminder that violence and hatred cannot silence democracy. Leaders may fall, but ideas endure. If you want more gripping stories of manhunts, mysteries, and forgotten history, subscribe to this channel, because the past still holds secrets, and we're here to uncover them.